Hi, my name is Joe Solowiejczyk, and I have had type 1 diabetes. Well, this year will be 51 years, and I can tell you this, there's not one morning in the last 51 years that I got up and said, yippee, I can't wait to take care of myself. But I will tell you this, I'm grateful to be alive. And if God had given me a choice and said, Joe, you can go down for the show, but you have to have diabetes, or you can't go down for the show at all, I'd always come down for the show, even if it was with diabetes. For me, the most difficult thing to come to terms with has been dealing with feelings of anger and rage and frustration. I used to think that if I had those feelings, I was doing something wrong. And it took me a long time, and a lot of work to sort of come to the understanding that feelings were just a guide. They weren't a sign if I was doing well or not. I think that if you're not pissed off and a little depressed about having this thing, you're nuts, and then you need medication. But if you're angry or depressed or sad or from time to time or this kind of thing, or feelings come up of frustration, geez, you're right on schedule. It means you have type 1 diabetes. The other thing that I think is important is to just understand that it's okay to have meltdowns every so often. That was a big breakthrough for me. I thought that I always had to sort of be courageous and sort of soldierly upright, and everything's okay, and whistle in the dark, and I'm not afraid. And I think what's become much easier for me is acknowledging that sometimes I am afraid, sometimes I am scared, sometimes it is difficult, and it's been much easier managing it. It's a marathon, not a 50-yard dash, and you have to adopt strategies that pertain to a marathon and not a 50-yard dash. 50-yard dash, you can do anything and just do it. Marathon, you have to sort of, let's be a little smarter. So part of my sort of staying in the game strategy is scheduling my diabetes depression days. And every 3 months or so, I call my friends, I tell them I'm going to be depressed about having diabetes, and I want them to call me every hour to tell me how courageous and inspiring I am. And then the night before, I go out and I rent 5 DVDs, Tragically Romantic, Lawrence of Arabia, Free Willy, anything that makes you cry. And I buy 2 pints of Ben & Jerry's ice cream, fudge swirl, and chocolate chip cookie dough. And the thing that I do the next day is I call into work and I say, I'm not coming in, I'm having a bad diabetes day. They usually say, oh, we'll see you tomorrow. I said, nah, maybe 2 days, not 1 day, we'll see. Anyway, that's the whole thing. It's organizing your pity party. People say, oh, you should feel grateful that you're not in a wheelchair or something like that. There's not one part of me that's not grateful that I'm not in a wheelchair. But I think managing this thing 24/7, 7 days a week, it entitles you to some complaining. So that's how I deal with it, and that's how I stay in the game. It's silly, I'll turn it upside down and make it even more silly. I'm feeling sorry for myself, I'll really feel sorry for myself. And that seems to work for me. And it all comes from coming to terms with the feelings. So let me tell you this, if I can do it, you can do it.